Good afternoon. A little different for this video. This will probably be my last one for a little while. Phelan Sewell will be jumping back on Friday, and I think if he takes over, he'll probably do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in place of me. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to having a fresh voice and a good means of support to pick up on things. Now, Andrew and I will be back together on Friday, and we'll be talking, of course, and continuing our series. But looking forward to Andrew's continued lessons, looking forward to Phelan's continued lessons. It's always important to work together, make sure that we are working hard and ensuring that you are getting as much encouragement as you possibly can. That is why we are here. That is why we do these videos. Andrew and I were talking just the other day, and I think we've done about 250 daily doses of encouragement. So you definitely have enough to be stimulated and encouraged by. We hope that you'll take advantage of these videos. For the past few months, I've been teaching from the books of Ezra and Nehemiah and also Esther. I'm currently teaching on Nehemiah. We'll be talking about Nehemiah 5 and 6 tonight at 7 p.m. at the Taylorsville Road Church of Christ. But we've been talking about these books. These are the post-exilic books, some of the post-exilic books. What that means is that after Israel, particularly Judah, went in captivity in Babylon for 70 years, as the prophets had said and promised, by the inspiration of the Spirit and by their prophecies given to them by God. They come back. Many people come back, and what they need to do is they need to rebuild. And the Persians, of course, Cyrus in particular, king of Persia, issues a decree that the Jews could come back. Now, among that first expedition, we have people like Zerubbabel and Sheshbazzar and Joshua, leaders among the people, governors, and also high priest. And what they do is they encourage the people for a time, and then they face some difficulties, and then they cease building on the temple. They cease building on the temple for a long time, about a decade and a half, and they get restarted. They get the encouragement, they get the breath of fresh air that they need. And I want to listen to what Ezra 5 verses 1 and 2 have to say, particularly the last few words of verse 2. But let's read Ezra 5, 1 and 2. Now the prophets Haggai and Zechariah, the son of Iddo, those are the same Old Testament prophets that their books bear their name, prophesied to the Jews who were in Judah and Jerusalem in the name of the God of Israel who was over them. Then Zerubbabel the son of Shealtiel and Joshua the son of Jozadak arose and began to rebuild the house of God that is in Jerusalem. And the prophets of God were with them, supporting them. Now, it's very important that we have a cooperative effort among God's people. Whether you are a civil ruler, whether you are a religious leader, whether you are equipped in one way or another, it's important that we all use the skills and the talents that we have to make sure that we are encouraging and inciting builders within God's house, making sure that we are joined and fitted together, making sure that we are growing into maturity to be the house of God. You'll notice, though, the emphasis on the fact that Haggai and Zerubbabel were supporting the people. They were supporting the people. Now, if you look at Haggai's book and Zechariah's book in the Old Testament, you have two very different prophets. Haggai has two very short chapters, and it's very much a series of stern rebukes. He rebukes them for building up their own houses and neglecting the house of God. He is very stern in his rebukes, very straightforward, very pointed. He's the sort of person who doesn't beat around the bush. And then you have Zechariah. And Zechariah I like to call Old Testament Revelation. It very much reads like Revelation. It's apocalyptic. It's very strange, very odd. You have visions. You have winged women carrying pots full of sin. You have all kinds of different weird stuff in the book of Zechariah. But they're two very different messengers. And they worked together to encourage the people. They were there with them, supporting them. Now that's a crucial idea because we need people with us. We need people that stand beside us. We need people that link arms with us. We need people that are there through thick and thin. Because if we don't have those people, then we won't do what God wants us to do, and we'll be negligent about building up the house of God. So I want to encourage you today, if you have the opportunity, take maybe 15 or 20 minutes to read through Haggai and Zechariah. Now, Haggai would be a quick read, and it only take you about 5 to 10 minutes to read from Haggai. Zechariah may take you a little bit longer. It may take you up to about a half hour to read through that. But I want to encourage you to read through Haggai and Zechariah. And I want you to note how they encourage the builders, because that's what we have in their books. Between the 16 chapters of Haggai and Zechariah, we have encouragement. And sometimes that encouragement comes in the form of a stern rebuke, like Haggai. And sometimes that encouragement is accomplished through giving something for people to think about and think through and chew on and meditate on, like Zechariah. And so we want you to do that, and we also want you to make sure that you're spending time equipping others and supporting others in the building up of God's house. Make sure that you are linked together with the people on your left and with the people on your right. And make sure that you're doing all that you can to support the building of God's house. Because as we find out in the book of Ezra, Haggai and Zechariah's initiative in getting the people restarted and getting the people to work together and inciting the people was very successful. In Ezra chapter 6, we find out that they are very quickly going to rebuild the temple. Ezra 6 verse 14 says, "And the elders of the Jews built and prospered through the prophesying of Haggai the prophet and Zechariah the son of Iddo. They finished their building by decree of the God of Israel and by decree of Cyrus and Darius and Artaxerxes king of Persia. And this house was finished on the 3rd day of the month of Adar in the 6th year of the reign of Darius the king." There will come a time where God's house will be complete. It's not going to be as fast as that physical house was rebuilt, but there will be a time when God's house will be complete. And will God have found you to have actively contributed, to have supported, to have caused the people to prosper in the building up of God's house? Will God's house be what it needs to be? And will you be a part of that growth? So take a few moments today to read through Haggai and Zechariah if you have the time, and to pray and meditate on their encouragement, and to think about how you can be invested and involved in God's house, in the rebuilding of God's house, and the building up of God's house. Make sure that you contribute and that you cause the building up of God's house to prosper and to be accomplished in a wonderful, marvelous way. And make sure that you are with others and that you are supporting others. That's your encouragement. Be an encouragement to others. We love you, and we hope and pray that God prospers you as you contribute to God's kingdom. And we hope that you find comfort and safety and support not only in the arms of Christ, but also in the arms of your brothers and sisters on your left and on your right. God bless you.